When you're anywhere up there, no one's coming for you. It's just you and whoever you're working with. No one's coming to save you. You call 911, they're not going up there.
How you doing? Oh, this is my real test of the fear of heights.
Globally, wind energy accounts for 8% of electricity generation, which is more than solar or nuclear power. And the sector is growing, employing over 125,000 people in the US alone. But what does it take to run a turbine repair business? And how dangerous is it working 200 plus feet up in the air on a giant machine with spinning blades? Dynamo sent me to find out.
Working at heights is inherently dangerous. You could very easily lose a finger.
Some fingerprints on there, they almost look like blood.
If you don't clip in, you're gonna fall to your death.
Whoa!
So, real, actual problem. Something has happened because it shouldn't be spinning.
What does that mean?
It's gonna be dangerous for us up in the turbine.
Hey, I'm Dakota.
Brian Stork.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. The main reason why we're here today is to do training certifications. Working at heights is inherently dangerous. You could very easily lose a finger. It's not actually that hard. You slip in a bunch of oily platform, you're gonna fall and be knocked unconscious. If you don't clip in your lad safe correctly, you're gonna fall to your death. You're doing it with other people, you're doing it with purpose, you're doing it at a height that, most people don't end up at.
The heights we're talking about aren't small. Modern wind turbines can rise more than 300 feet in the air. That is roughly 30 stories straight up. Up there, you're clipped into cables climbing vertical ladders inside a steel tower, knowing there's nothing between you and the ground but your training and your gear.
So how tall is this tower that's in here right here?
35 feet. If we can get you certified today and you pass, we'll put you up on at least a 200-foot tower tomorrow.
I hope that I don't discover a fear of heights tomorrow.
No, you won't until you get to the top. You'll do it right, though.
Okay, good.
You'll be fine.
All right.
My first challenge is simple on paper. I have to climb the tower, secure myself to the vertical lifeline, and fully weight my harness. Sitting back, hands-free, proving I can stay calm and work safely at height.
We're nowhere. I'm not going up. I'm not very high in the air. I'm fine. This bad boy. Off there. Oh, probably the other way, right? Just that? Great. Woo! I feel untethered.
Try to sit back in that.
All right. Hey, cozy. Pretty comfortable.
Don't lock your knees down all the way or it cuts the blood flow off of your body and you'll be fast.
These are very good things to know, thank you.
Whenever you're
Just trying to make sure I don't fall and die.
I love the guy. I don't want to do the paperwork. Dakota is not mechanically inclined, but for not being mechanically inclined, you did pretty well.
All right, solid ground. That's nice to feel.
Your transitions were good for this being your first time, and you're very cognizant about gear, and you don't appear to be afraid of heights. Yeah, I'd say you did.
I'm glad I'm faking it well enough.
Yeah, with all of that, I think you did all right.
Awesome. So training day is over, and we're here today at the real turbine. Wait, that one? Oh.
Wind turbine blades are connected to internal mechanical components inside the turbine, creating pinch points and unpredictable gear movement right next to where people are working. It can make for very hazardous working conditions.
Being here in person, yeah, it is huge, but it's gonna be tight in there. It's gonna be dangerous in there, I'm told. All right, so what are we doing today? How are we getting up there?
All right, well, you today are going to experience what it is like to be a wind technician. What you're looking at is a 200+ foot tall wind turbine.
Yeah.
And this isn't a lab setting. No one's coming for you. No one's coming to save you. You call 911. They're not going up there. No helicopters coming for you. And I just want to make sure that you're confident.
You know what? That sounds good. We practiced with Randy yesterday. I feel good about that. I do have one question though.
Yeah.
So the video you showed me yesterday, the blades on this guy were spinning. Why are they stopped now?
Today, there's not a lot of wind speed.
Okay.
So, that's what's going to rotate this old girl is wind. And she's going to rotate slowly throughout the days. We're up there just with different gusts of wind coming in the air.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So shall we get strapped in and get up there?
All right, let's head up tower.
Let's do this.
It's 220 feet straight up to the top of the wind turbine. There's a central vertical ladder comprised of about 200 ladder rungs within a steel structure that narrows significantly as you go up. At the top is the nacelle, which is essentially the engine room of the turbine and houses its mechanical equipment and electrical components.
Ooh, I can see all the way up there. Yeah, it's tall. That's definitely taller than yesterday. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. I'm pumping myself up.
Holy shit, what is that?
Don't you do that to me.
Dakota's coming up.
It's just like I'm climbing a ladder because I am.
That's right.
I got, what, 15, 20 steps down and 200 to go, so it's gonna get easier. Oh, that's a lot. You definitely don't want to climb this one without gloves. Oh, this is tight. Man, the rest of the wind turbine was practically spacious. See what you're saying about having to snake your body around a little bit. Huh. Oh, it's not so bad up here. I feel like I'm in a U-Haul.
Yeah, this is it. This is the inside of a turbine.
There's a lot going on in here. This is way bigger than what we saw yesterday.
It sure is.
The nacelle contains most of the critical parts that enable the wind turbine to generate power. As I learned yesterday from Ryan, the generator, brake system, gearbox, and the yaw control motor, still not sure what that is, by the way, are all housed here.
I see some fingerprints on there. They almost look like blood.
The blood of the turbine. That's a bit of grease. So the first thing we have to do before we do anything else is we got to get the blades to stop spinning.
Ryan did some quick diagnostic work that I was definitely not qualified to help out with after my one day of training. He arrived at a pretty quick verdict.
That's going to be a pain in the ass.
All right, okay, what do you need?
Well, I'm just going to sit here and look pretty,
Sounds good.
and you're going to do all the work,
Okay.
which is, I think, why you're here. Maybe. I don't know. Last time we were up this turbine, we left the rotor locks on, and one of the rotor locks decided to fail. So in order to get the other rotor lock on, we have to get this broken rotor lock out of here.
Okay.
Rotor locks are basically the emergency brake for the wind turbine. These pieces of steel immobilize the rotor during repair work, which keeps the blades of the turbine from spinning.
Yep. Pull towards me with that.
Towards you.
Yep. Pull the whole apparatus away.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Go ahead and pick it up. There you go.
Almost there.
One more. And that's it. Let it go.
After lifting this giant hunk of metal out of the bowels of the turbine, I got to put some of the skills I learned yesterday to the test.
Lower it nice and slowly down on the other side.
Fortunately, this rotor lock is about half as heavy as Rescue Randy. Lucky me.
Oh, that was kind of like lowering Rescue Randy yesterday.
It's about as useful as Rescue Randy, yeah?
Just a big broken lump of metal?
Yep.
Once we got the rotor lock out, the other piece of equipment Ryan needed to find was a large metal pin that gets inserted into the rotor lock to stop the blades from spinning.
Aw, you f***er. God bless it.
One thing I'm learning about wind turbines, repairs can take a while. So I figured I'd use the downtime to my advantage.
Hey, Ryan, would now be a good time for me to ask you a couple questions about your business?
Oh, man, son of a biscuit. Yeah, go right ahead. What do you want to know, huh?
So how much does it cost them to build something like this?
Well, I don't know. This turbine was built, it was probably north of $1.5 million, I'd reckon.
Okay. I mean, how about maintaining something like this? How much are they spending annually to keep it running?
Sometimes you'll have years where they don't really have much going on except for routine maintenance, and then, son of a, come on. Sometimes you'll have what we're experiencing here today. So that can be anywhere from, $5,000 to, $40,000 a year, depending on what you run into.
Gotcha. How are the margins in a business like this? What are your operating costs, and how does that leave you at the end of the day?
You're running 6 people. You're gonna run a couple $100,000 a year, specs, costs, and returns are pretty good.
Many turbine repair businesses like Ryan's with under 10 employees bring in revenues in the low 7 figures. Taking into account operating expenses and the hefty insurance bill, business owners in the wind turbine repair industry can still expect to make a tidy profit.
Anything else?
Would you call us the ass crack of the wind turbine?
That's definitely probably what you're seeing right now, 100%.
Finally, Ryan found the missing pin. Might have been inspired by my thoughtful inquiries about his financials. Or not, who knows.
We'll install this pin,
Okay.
and then we'll lock the rotor in.
Okay.
And once we lock the rotor in, the blade will be able to spin.
Okay.
And then we'll be good to go.
Definitely getting a little antsy up here. Yeah, this is very different from the training day.
Excellent Denzel Washington movie. Oh!
You shot me in the ass.
You want me to hold you here? Are you safe? You good?
What?
You're just like dangling here.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. You paint me like one of your turbine girls.
That's right. All right, come right up here.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. Push that pen in. Sorry. Yep. There you go.
Okay.
It's locked in.
It is locked. Hey, I feel like I did something.
Crisis averted.
With the emergency repair taken care of, it was time to shift our focus to the regular turbine maintenance that we were supposed to do in the first place.
I guess we're gonna put these into there. Come under here, you said?
Yep. Under that bracket, put those pistons on the inside against that rotor. The outside. Just like that.
All right, hold on.
Run it in.
With the work inside complete, there's only one thing left to do: climb outside to the top of the turbine.
We'll work our way up to the top. We'll be exposed. You'll get a great view. And we have to do one routine maintenance inspection on the anemometer. And then we'll be done for the day. It's pretty out there. It'll be good.
It'll be pretty up there. That's a good way to look at it.
It's definitely the only way to look.
It's gonna look pretty up there. I'm gonna look pretty when I piss my pants.
Alrighty, Dakota.
Howdy.
You sit up. Right. You lean in here. Put your ass right up on there.
Great.
Don't stand on there.
How you doing? Oh, this is my real test of the fear of heights. Nice view, though. You know, what I can see of it.
So how do you feel being up here?
I mean, good. I'm more cold than afraid of the heights right now, honestly.
Oh, that's it.
So I thought I would be worse.
Ryan explained that part of the wind turbine's annual maintenance involves inspecting the anemometer, which measures wind speed and direction to make sure the bearings haven't failed.
We're literally going down, doing a wiggle test, and we'll come right back.
Sounds good? Yeah. All right. Woo! It's a little slippery up here with the snow.
And you see how I'm standing right now?
Yes.
You can't turn around when you're standing up like this.
Okay.
You okay, bud?
Yeah, I just wrapped this around my leg.
Imagine going all the way up here to make sure a little spinny thing was still spinning freely. I learned a lot from Ryan the last few days about what it takes to run a successful wind turbine business.
Yeah, this is wild up here.
But I think the main thing I learned was that when you're 200 plus feet up in the air, the air guitar sounds even more badass than it does on the ground.
What you doing back there? You told me not to turn around, so I can't look.
Are you enjoying watching this episode? Then you're going to love reading Business Explains the World too. Check out this link to our Substack, or